Welcome to Kate's Garden. I'm Kate, and today I'm going to be talking about the Bresse chicken. Now, these are actually a French heritage breed, but when they're raised in America, they are referred to as American Bresse. This is a hen that was hatched last year, so she's probably 10 months old or somewhere in there. These are a true dual-purpose breed, and one thing that is really unique about them is that they're still used commercially today. Most commercial chickens are hybrids nowadays, but these have been not only a heritage breed that's been bred for hundreds of years, but they are still used commercially in France for both eggs and for meat. So we have tried quite a few different dual-purpose breeds and even some specific meat breeds that were purebred, and we really liked the Cornish cross as a hybrid, but we wanted to be able to hatch our own chicks. And even though you get a really nice bird in a short amount of time with the Cornish cross, they don't really seem very healthy, and they never have enough feathers to cover their skin because they grow so fast, so they're just kind of ugly and they get dirty. And so we were looking for something better. So about 2 years ago, we heard about the American Bresse, and so we got some, and we actually had some problems with feed that year, and we ended up losing all of those chicks. There was a problem with the manufacturer. They started messing around with the ingredients of the feed, and so I'm not sure exactly what nutrient was missing, but the American Bresse and the rest of that batch of chicks that were other breeds didn't grow very well, and we ended up losing them. But last spring we bought some more, and so now we have Bresse from 3 different breeders. We've actually replaced our Buff Orpingtons, which we were previously using as a dual-purpose breed for eggs and meat. So these girls don't lay quite as well as the Buff Orpingtons, but I would say similar. They definitely lay well enough to be worth keeping around as a laying hen. And then the roosters will grow, they'll grow to 4 pounds or more in 16 to 18 weeks, which is way, way faster and bigger than a Buff Orpington will ever get. Most of your heritage breeds, if you butcher them at 5 to 6 months, so maybe 2 months later than these guys, they'll be 2.5, 3 pounds. So definitely a big improvement there. There are some differences. So I'm actually going to show you a rooster that we butchered and some of the eggs that these chickens lay. So I'm going to put her away, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back with some eggs and meat from our Bresse chickens. So first I'm going to show you the eggs. These girls lay, I would say medium to jumbo size, light brown to white eggs. There's actually a lot of difference in the eggs from strain to strain. So the Bresse chickens that we have right now actually came from 3 different breeders. So we have some that are, I would say, medium to large size eggs, and these range from really, really light, maybe a tinted white to light brown, and then sometimes even to a medium brown in color. And then these came from a different breeder, and they had been what I would call a jumbo size white to off-white egg. And these have been this size almost since these hens started laying. So it's not that the chickens are older. All of these eggs that I'm showing you are from hens that are less than a year old. Some of these hens have just started laying this spring. Now for the meat, this is a Bresse rooster, and this guy, put him on the scale, I think he's 4¼ pounds, something like that. And so this guy was butchered at about 18 weeks of age. And for comparison, I actually have a Buff Orpington here. This guy was raised the same exact way, but he was about 2 months older when he was butchered, and he's 3¼ pounds. So he is about 1 pound lighter and 2 months older. And these were raised the exact same way. So how we raise these meat birds is that they need to be confined for at least the last few weeks of their life. In France, they actually are allowed to free range and forage until the last few weeks, where they're confined to a smaller space to help them put on meat, and then they're also given corn soaked in milk during that time. So I don't have a very good source for corn right now, and I haven't really had extra milk since I've been raising these. but I do add a little bit of corn into their diet, probably 25% for about the last 3 weeks. And I do soak that or their other feed in whey when I have extra whey from cheese making. And let me switch these around so you can actually see this is the Bresse right here. So they need to be confined in order to put on weight. If you're raising a Cornish hybrid, then they pretty much put on weight whatever you do. These guys, you need to put a little bit of work into putting that weight onto them. And so that means confining them, and then if you can give them some corn at the end, whether that's a smaller amount like I do or 100% corn for just the last couple of weeks, that will help to add some fat. And these birds are actually able to marble their meat, unlike other chicken breeds. So that brings me to cooking. If you try to roast a Bresse chicken the same way that you would roast a Cornish cross, they're going to be tough and not very good. I learned that one the hard way. So to cook these, you want to cook them a little bit lower and slower than you would a Cornish cross, keeping in mind that these are a little bit older than a Cornish cross, typically about twice the age of a Cornish cross chicken that you would get in the store. So I actually cover these. If they had enough corn in their diet, they're going to have a lot of fat on them and you don't need to add any. But if you get a leaner bird like this guy here, I usually add some oil. I'll drizzle some avocado oil, or bacon grease is another one that's really good. And that just, it'll help to tenderize the meat and add some flavor in. And then I cover them through pretty much the whole baking process. I do bake them at 350, or sometimes I go down a little bit, maybe 325, but I give them more time than I would the same size Cornish cross. So if I would bake a Cornish cross for 2 hours, then I would give these about 3 hours. And you definitely want to bake them until they got some wiggle in them. I know that sounds kind of funny to say, but you don't want if you push on the leg, you don't want it to be stiff. That tells you that it's not done enough, even if it has reached a safe temperature internally. I usually cook these beyond that to more like 180, 190 degrees. And oddly enough, that does not toughen them. That makes them taste better. All right, so that is all I have for today. If you guys have any questions about Bresse, feel free to post them in the comments. We have been super happy with these guys, and it's amazing that they're not a hybrid, and yet they're so productive, and we can use them for both eggs and for meat. So this is the main breed of chicken that we raise now. We do have a few others that we keep for fun and for different purposes, but this has replaced the Buff Orpington as our primary breed of chicken that we raise here on our homestead.
Do you enjoy the challenge of gardening? So do I. That's why I began saving seeds from my garden more than 10 years ago. Saving seeds was a lot of fun, but I quickly discovered how much I didn't know, like how my pumpkins turned into pumpkinzinis and sweet peppers turned hot. Since I first started, I've learned from other seed savers, read just about every seed saving book out there, and each year put it all into practice in my own garden. I've combined everything I've learned into an easy online course that simplifies seed saving for beginners. With Simple Seed Saving, you can begin successfully saving seeds from your garden today. Simple Seed Saving gives you all the info you need to prevent unwanted crossing, save pure seeds from all of your plants to grow next year. The course includes handy reference charts, printable seed packets, and access to a private Facebook group where you can ask questions anytime. Saving seeds is a great way to save money, preserve your favorite seed varieties, and become less dependent on the grocery store. Start saving seeds today.